Hello there. Welcome to another RSM Cloud Clip. My name is Ken Osterhaus, and I'm a manager on the Cloud and Data Center team here at RSM. Today we'll be exploring the differences between Azure Virtual Desktop and Windows 365, their advantages and use cases. We have a very special guest joining us today. I'd like to welcome Jeremy Haynes, who is a manager on RSM's Modern Work team and is a subject matter expert in Azure Virtual Desktop and Windows 365. So today, Jeremy, I'd like to start our conversation talking about Azure Virtual Desktop, which is a flexible, cloud-based desktop and application virtualization tool, which focuses on flexibility and customization, cost efficiency, and security. So when I list out these features of Azure Virtual Desktop, what really sticks out to you?
Yeah, thanks, Ken. So really, it's just what you said. It's flexibility and customization, cost efficiency, and security. With Azure Virtual Desktop, you can really tailor your virtual environment to meet your specific business needs by using things like pooled or personal host pools, or even leveraging tools like MSIX App Attach, App Masking, App Locker, and even Windows Defender for deploying, updating, and restricting services and applications within the environment. When we look at using a pooled host pool, what that really means is that we're balancing our end user sessions amongst a pool of hosts. Likely you'll have multiple users on any given particular host. Whereas personal host pools is where you might have a particular session host assigned to an individual user, and you might have many of those. The key here is that each user has their own dedicated desktop. Moving forward, we get to cost efficiency. With Microsoft Azure's pay-as-you-go pricing model, you can often be more cost-effective around variable workloads. This really comes into play with Azure Virtual Desktop when we look at scaling plans and load balancing. First, let's talk about load balancing. Microsoft gives you two different options. They give you breadth first, where we're distributing your users more or less evenly amongst all of your available session hosts, where you might want to provide the best end user experience by spreading them out. And then we have depth first. Depth first is where we're really trying to fill up a session host before we move on to adding sessions to the next one. This method is often great when we're trying to be cost conscious, allowing for better control of the number of active session hosts. By taking both of our load balancing mechanisms, we can put them into scaling plans, which allow us to use different load balancing mechanisms depending on what time of day it is and whether we're looking to ramp up, ramp down, or even when we're in peak or off-peak hours. With Azure Virtual Desktop, the advanced security features and integration with Azure services really shine. With Azure Virtual Desktop, we can dynamically configure applications and integrate seamlessly with Entra ID, providing for advanced identity and access management capabilities. This can include conditional access policies, single sign-on, multi-factor authentication, or any number of measures that will help secure our end user access and reduce the risk of identity-based attacks. Finally, Azure Virtual Desktop can be integrated with our other Azure security services, such as Azure Defender and Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. This integration provides an enhanced protection against malware, ransomware, and other advanced threats, ensuring a secure and resilient virtual desktop environment.
That's awesome, Jeremy. Thank you for that summary of Azure Virtual Desktop. I'd like to transition now to Windows 365, which is a personalized cloud PC experience focused on simplicity, predictable pricing, and flexible scaling. Now, when I list out these features, Jeremy, I hear a lot of overlap between Windows 365 and Azure Virtual Desktop. Can you explain why that is?
Of course. The main reason is because Windows 365 was really born from the Azure Virtual Desktop framework. So with that, you get a lot of the same security, you get a lot of the same resiliency, and a lot of the same integrations. However, where Windows 365 really shines is its simplicity and ease of setup and use. On top of that, the predictable pricing based on the fixed monthly cost allow organizations to anticipate IT expenses without worrying about unexpected costs. So with that, let's talk about what that means. Windows 365 is designed for simplicity, making it easy to set up and use with minimal IT involvement. The service even provides a guided setup process that allows for businesses to quickly deploy cloud PCs. Users can then access those personalized Windows environments from any device with internet access, reducing the complexity of managing multiple devices and operating systems. And finally, the intuitive management interface really simplifies those administrative tasks, such as provisioning new users, managing updates, or even monitoring performance. Moving on to the cost, Windows 365 comes in three different versions: Business, Enterprise, and Frontline. Each have their own use cases and benefits, but the main point is that Windows 365 offers a clear and predictable pricing model with a fixed monthly cost per user. This will help businesses manage their budgets more effectively as they can anticipate those IT expenses without worrying about unexpected costs. This model is particularly beneficial for small to medium-sized businesses that might need to control their IT spending while still providing employees with a robust and secure computing environment. Finally, flexible scaling. What we mean with Windows 365 is that we allow businesses to quickly scale out their cloud PC deployments or scale them back in based on their needs. This flexibility is ideal for organizations experiencing growth, seasonal fluctuations, or even just general changes to workforce size. Adding new users is as simple as procuring an additional license to provision a new cloud PC. This ensures businesses can respond rapidly to changing demands without delays associated with traditional hardware procurement and setup.
Thanks for breaking down Windows 365 Desktop for us, Jeremy. Really appreciate that. Azure Virtual Desktop and Windows 365 are both really powerful tools, but I can hear our audience asking us, when does it make sense for them to use either tool for their organization? And I feel like we can answer that question by taking a look at both products, their technical architecture, their management, and we can talk about different use cases that you've run into based on both products.
Of course, Azure Virtual Desktop offers more flexibility and customization options, but it does require more hands-on management configuration. So areas that it really becomes suitable is when you have those complex IT environments where you might have specific customizations or integration requirements. With Windows 365, you're getting a much simpler fixed price model with less need for IT management because you're managing it all through Intune. And this can often be ideal for businesses looking for a straightforward, scalable solution. When we talk about different use cases, one of the primary use cases with Azure Virtual Desktop is, again, when we're looking at those complex environments where we might have multiple different solutions or customizations that need to integrate with one another. Alternatively, Azure Virtual Desktop is great for remote or hybrid work scenarios where you need that high flexibility. And then finally, we often see Azure Virtual Desktop when we're looking at development and testing scenarios, or we might need environments that are isolated but still scalable. Windows 365 also has its own particular use cases, specifically with per user cloud PCs. This is ideal when we want to enable our end users to customize their own experience with a managed cloud PC within our organization. This is great for temporary or seasonal workers, which allows us to easily provide those desktops without complex setup. Both of these use cases are especially helpful when we need to provide end users with managed cloud PCs to access our resources, even though they may be coming from an unmanaged device.
That's excellent, Jeremy. I appreciate you taking us through that journey there. Well, that's it for today. Now I want to hear from you all. What questions do you have for us about Azure Virtual Desktop and Windows 365? Is your organization using it today? If so, how are you using it? Are you facing any challenges with either product? Let's connect and have a conversation. I'd like to invite you to connect with Jeremy and I on LinkedIn or email. Thank you.